Yo, what's up, guys? This is how I lost $300. Well, actually, no, $400 day trading the NASDAQ today. So as you can go ahead and see, basically down $340. So I'm going to go ahead and break down the trade that I took today. So, what the fuck is this? Alright, so basically, coming on to the day, I'm going to just clean this up. Let's see. So coming to the day, so I started off on the daily chart. So initially, my bias was leaning a little bit more bullish, just for the simple fact that, of course, we tapped into this daily gap and we were delivering higher. However, though, the lower time frames were not really matching up with what I wanted to see. So, if you can see here, we see price. Let me go ahead and just put the annotations back on. Actually, probably hide this real quick. Can I hide this? Okay, I can hide it real quick. Hide. All right, cool. All right, so we can see here. Actually, go on to the 1 hour. So before I go on to the 1 hour, though, we have this 4 hour change in the state of delivery that's bearish. And also, we're tapping into this 4 hour gap. So we have a 4 hour fair value gap that we rejected from. We had SMT as well. And also, we had a 4 hour change in state of delivery. And then scaling back onto the 1 hour, we can see we took out the Asia high right here, and then we can see right here at 8 a.m. we took out the London high, and then we displaced lower, breaking structure, and we also put in a change in the state of delivery here as well. So as much as I wanted to be bullish, I was leaning more bearish because of the daily profile, and then also all the lower time frames were leaning more towards being bearish rather than being bullish. So if we go ahead and scale down to the 15-minute time frame, how do I unhide? Let me just go ahead and refresh it, see if it unhides it real quick. Okay, so I guess we just deleted it, but I'll go ahead and just put it back on in a bit. So as you can see here, price ended up displacing lower, creating a 15-minute bearish fair value gap and a huge 15-minute change in state of delivery. So we can see here, price ended up coming into a premium as well, and we rejected off the 0.705 optimal trade entry level. And one thing to note, we did have an SMT with this low, but that was the only thing besides the daily chart saying that we were bullish. Every other chart, in my opinion, was reading or leaning more towards bearish. So if we go ahead and scale down onto the 1 minute, so I can go ahead and show you the trade that I actually took. So as you can see here, we get a perfect rejection here off the optimal trade entry level, which was the 0.705. So we had a perfect rejection there. And not only that, we also had a 5 minute sweep up here. And we had a 5 minute change in delivery right here. So we had a 5 minute CISD, 1 minute CISD as well out of that 15 with that sweep of the high. So I went ahead and entered on, let me go to MNQ real quick, because I did take that on MNQ. And then also, we did have equal lows resting below us on ES. So I was expecting price to, sell off because we had multiple equal lows. So if we go ahead and scale down onto the 1 minute, I'll go ahead and show you where my entry was. So my entry was right here. So this was my entry. Stop was right here. And I was aiming for, where's the 2 to 1? And I was aiming for this. So right here, entered on market, full size. And as you can see here, we saw a little bit of profit for like maybe 2 minutes. Nothing too crazy. And right here on this candle at 11:02, 11 a.m. decided to open higher. So 11 a.m. opened higher here. And at this point, I simply just didn't like the displacement that we were getting. So, instead of holding the full stop, I decided to just manually close the trade here. So I was risking about $500 with the full stop, but right here I ended up losing pretty much 388. So I went ahead and just decided to protect capital there. Looking at this in hindsight, it was a pretty bad trade. The CISD that we got was one choppy as fuck. And there was honestly no real displacement. Like we didn't create any gaps, just kind of wicking, back and forth in both directions. So unfortunately, it was a crucial mistake as well because you could see, 11 a.m. opened higher and then it displaced lower. So I would have had a chance to go break even and, not really lose anything. But, instead I manually closed here rather than holding for the full stop. So yeah, it's pretty much how I ended up taking that loss. And as you can see, again, like I mentioned, it dropped lower. Unfortunately, had I waited, been a bit more patient, I would have been able to, go break even, have a risk-free trade. But then, ended up going back into drawdown here. As you can see, this trade is still, still technically kind of, like playing out. And the reason price ended up selling off for this, just for the simple fact that we ended up putting in this my fault, external. We ended up putting this internal SMT inside of the 15. And I don't believe M&Q did it, but I believe NQ, yeah. So NQ tapped the NWOG, or was it the N dog? Let me double check. It was the N dog. So we tapped yesterday's N dog, which was like an extra confluence for me because we literally wicked it and then we rejected from it right away. On top of that, with getting the 1 minute change in state out of the 15, we also had it on the 5 minute. So everything was leaning bearish for me in my opinion. Only thing that kind of just didn't line up was the fact that we were under the opening prices. But as you can see here, I believe this is probably just gonna move forward and take out the full stop completely. I'll probably just give it, like a minute or two, see if it does that here. Let me go ahead and just wait here. Yeah, it's looking like it's gonna go up and just take out that high. So I mean, if it does, I guess I saved $200, but like realistically, I really didn't because had I waited, could have gone break even, would have literally lost like literally next to nothing. But yeah, it's looking like it's gonna go for that stop here within the next couple of seconds. Yeah, so look up, almost. We just got debated there. We got debated there. But let's see here. It's like literally okay. Yeah. So either way, full stop would have gotten ran. Yeah. Looking at it in hindsight now, it was a pretty bad trade. The CISD that we got was pretty atrocious. Now that I come to look at it, let's see. We have this one right. We have okay. So we have the sweep right here. This set of down close candles entered on here. Actually, no, entered on this candle. So actually, yeah, I entered on this change in state of delivery actually. So yeah, entered on here. Loki was definitely a bad trade. Now that I'm like looking at it in hindsight, we made all this low resistance liquidity, and then on top of that, delivering off the 5 minute. And honestly, the 5 minute itself and the 15, this is just straight up chop. To be honest, looking at it now, definitely shouldn't have even taken a trade today. The 5 minutes really choppy, is going up and down in both directions. Like we have this 5 minute. We have this little baby tiny 5 minute, but as you can see, it's just quite just chopping around. So I already went ahead and journaled this. Not too upset by it. Still have a good little cushion on the account. Only down 395 on the account, so you can definitely bring that back. But yeah, definitely went ahead and journal my mistakes here. So tomorrow we're gonna come back stronger. We're gonna see if we can get a dub tomorrow. Actually, no, fuck that. We are gonna get a dub tomorrow. But if you guys like the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you follow me on all the other platforms: TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. All that good shit. I'm gonna be pushing out more content. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day, night, evening, whatever time it is that you're watching. You guys take care. Bye.